Hey friends, it's Anique. So glad to have you back. I hope you've been following along with me, or maybe you are here to just be like, I want to learn about goals, because today we're going to talk about goals. If you've been following along, I talked about kind of the law of attraction and starting to dream again and how that can look for you, and really challenging you to like get out there and start dreaming and thinking about like audacious, crazy dreams that you think this could never happen. If I literally said to you, here's a magic wand, woof, poof, what do you want to create? I want you to dream that big. I want you to get dreaming and get thinking about what you do want. And you know what? Sometimes it does start with that list of what you don't want. You need to write down what you don't want in your life first. But then from that, look at that and be like, okay, from that, what do I want? And focus on what you do want. And throw away the things you don't want and don't think about them. Focus on what you do want. And so I'm going to talk to you about goal setting. And there's a lot of different ways that I goal set every year. Annually, I goal set monthly, every month. And so, but one of the big things I did that I feel like is such a great place to start is whether like any business, whatever kind of goals you have. I would do this with my kids. So if you're a teenager watching this, is really get clear on what your core values are. And it's like, and sometimes it can be hard to put that into words. So here's what I'm going to suggest. Here's what I did. I actually Googled values. I Googled values, and I just wanted a list of different values. I wanted a list, like an alphabetical giant list. And so like things like integrity, courage, bravery, love, health, like those things that you really core value that exemplify who you are as a person, success, wisdom, work ethic, like there's so many different things. So I Googled this list. And then what I did with that list is I took out my notebook. I always have my notebook with me. And I started writing down off of the list the words, the ones that's every single one that stuck out to me. And I was like, that exemplifies me. That's who I am. I started writing them down, Okay, then I shut off Google. And then I looked at all of the ones I had. And from that, I started circling the ones that really jumped out off of there. I really wanted to get the ones that really spoke to me. Because a lot of them have maybe similar meanings, but there were certain words that really stuck out to me. And then after doing that, I was able to I started to see that they kind of worked into kind of different under little umbrellas of, they were similar. Does that make sense? And then from there, I really condensed and boiled it down to five core values that like are really important to me in who I want to be and the life I wanted to create. And then from those 5 values, it was really easy to start seeing and then dreaming and going, okay, now what do I want my goals to be? Because your goals, your dreams, that should all align with your value system. If it doesn't, it's not going to come together as nicely as it could. Or it's going to fall apart eventually. So I want you to really think about that. What are my core values? What's really important to me at the heart of my life? And then from there, be like, and what do I want to create? And then start writing down goals. And so I like to have kind of 5 big goals for the year. So if you were to look at, I don't know when you're watching this video, we're kind of at the beginning of the new year as I record this, but you know, I usually do this at the like kind of very beginning of January, where I'm like a year from now, like January 31st of this year, or you can just look at it as a calendar year from when you're watching this. Where do I want to be at? What do I want to have created? What do I want to have achieved? And here's the thing. By writing your goals down, did you know just by writing them down, you are 85% more likely to achieve those goals? I don't know how this isn't taught in school, but it's huge to write down those goals. So if you're a kid, maybe it's making your high school volleyball team or basketball team. Maybe it's making a provincial, or state football team. Like those are goals that you would write down as a kid, right? Maybe it's getting into a certain college or university. Maybe it's having a certain, average in high school. As an adult, maybe it is a certain promotion. Maybe it is a new house. Maybe it is, a new vehicle, or maybe it's having more time off or a holiday, or I don't know what it is. What are the things that you want to hit? And then start focusing on those simple goals. So then you have your yearly goals, and then from there, I kind of like to work backwards. The other thing you can do, take it even a step further, is you can look at 5 years, 10 years, and then you start to work back. So a really cool exercise that I did years ago, and I'm a big meditator, which we will get to at some point, but I didn't get into a deep meditation. I kind of went into my bedroom, locked the door because I have 5 little kids. Well, I did at the time. And I just was like, so to my husband, I'm just taking a few minutes upstairs, and I did some really deep breaths. I laid down on my bed and I just got kind of quiet. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to wake up like it's 5 years from now. Where am I waking up? So I was in my bed, in my current bed that I'm in right now, like that in the house we live in. But where am I going to wake up 5 years from now? Okay. And then I just visualized as I had my eyes closed and was continuing to like breathe, because that's what we do as humans, we breathe. I came up with all of a sudden and we weren't in my house, we were in a cabin, and I came down the stairs and I could see it so clearly, and my husband was there, and because it was 5 years ahead, the ages of my kids, they were all older, and I was putting on my sneakers, and it was summertime, and I was going to go for a run, and there was a lake, all these things, and I kid you not, 3 years later, we bought almost identical to that cabin, that I visualized in my head, and I didn't know where it was or how it was going to happen or how we were going to get it or any of the things. But when you start visualizing, so figure out what your values are, and you guys take some time to really dream. We stopped dreaming. So dream about where it is you want to go and what you want your life to look like. And then you're going to be able to start writing down some goals of things that you want to achieve. And then so 5 year, and then you're going to go 1 year, and then I'm going to go monthly, and I'm going to break it down. So for me, I can look at this easily with my business. You could look at this as with athletics or with fitness, whatever it is that you're setting goals for. And I just broke it down to that month. And I write down on the first of every month before I go to bed. I have a nighttime routine. That's a whole nother YouTube video that I've done, but I have a nighttime routine where I write down what I'm grateful for every day, 5 things, and I write down what are the 5 or 6, 7 things I'm going to really get done the next day that are important to reaching what I know are my monthly goals, my yearly goals, my 5-year goals. And so you're boiling it down every day. And so my monthly goals within my business are, I know there's certain numbers I want to hit. I know there's a certain amount of people that I want to talk to. I know there's a certain amount of people I want to help and I want to coach. I write down those for myself personally, and I write down team goals. I do this every month, and I have done that for 14 and a half years on the first of the month at night before I go to bed. And then I write my gratitude and what am I going to do the next day. And so it's the same thing even with starting up a YouTube channel like this, for instance, writing down the goals of what I want it to look like, how it's, committing to it, and then doing the things. So writing it down. So it starts with visualizing, making that plan, right, in your mind, coming up with what those values are, and then writing those goals down. When you write it down, you're more likely to stick with it. You're more likely to take the next step to do the things that you need to do. I wrote down my goals, my 5 big goals for the year. I used to write them down daily for years. I've shifted around with that a little bit, but they're written down for me very, very, very regularly. So that would be my big tip with goals. Write them down. The plan will come, but write down what those goals are. You got to figure that out, and you got to figure out what your value system is before you can even take that next step. I hope that was helpful, you guys. Again, my name is Anique. Like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this. If you have things you would like to hear about, you can find me on Instagram, Anique Dean Mama 5. You can find me on Facebook, and you can share in the comments below. Take care, you guys. Have an amazing week.